So along this theme, I wanted to share a couple other pioneers in the field of self-experimentation. Max Joseph von Pettenkofer, another great name. I don't know if it's all the way up there with Agramonte.
That name smells like lederhosen to me.
So he was Bavarian born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, right there.
He was an MD. He was born in 1818. He was an MD and a chemist, and his area of interest was hygiene. So he actually taught hygiene, and he studied a great deal what was the effect of the quality of water and food and air and how clean people's clothes were in their houses on their health, which is an important area.
Especially at that time.
Yes, and very relevant to people's health then and now. So he lived in Munich, and this was important because there was a cholera outbreak there in the 1880s and 1890s, and he was studying that. Now, the commonly held theory, because of Koch, of postulate fame, Robert Koch, Koch's postulates.
Koch's postulate, okay.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about germ theory of disease kind of stuff.
I remember you got very excited about Koch.
Yeah. I like to say of postulate fame, which, again, that's one of those things where there are, like, biology majors snickering, and you're just staring at you're giving me that
one,
look.
Sid.
So he had recently discovered the bacteria that caused cholera. So they knew it was from a bacteria. Mm-hmm. We're not guessing where it came from at this point, except for Max. He didn't buy it.
No?
He thought, okay, that's fine. So you found the bacteria, it spreads cholera, but it's more than that, because he saw cholera so closely linked with people who kind of just were dirty. That was his perception. Dirty people got cholera. He thought there was more to it. Well, but you maybe you can get the bacteria, but you can only really get sick and get the disease if you're not clean, if you don't wash, if you live in a dirty house, if you don't take care of yourself, basically.
Which is interesting and kind of backwards from the way we understand things today. I mean, those are contributing factors, but once you found the bacteria, that's usually it, right?
Exactly. Well, if you didn't have a clean water source because you did live in a socioeconomically depressed area and you didn't have access to clean water, you were much more likely then to come in contact with the bacteria and get cholera. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't the lack of cleanliness. And certainly you could be a rich, clean person who got cholera.
So how did he test this out?
So to test out this theory, he thought, what cleaner person do I know
yeah.
than Max Joseph von Pettenkofer?
White gloves all the time, brush his teeth 4 times a day. I bet he was a real stickler for it.
He's a hygienist. That's his job.
He's the cleanest dude ever.
So he thought, you know what? I'm going to take that bacteria. I'm going to get it somehow. I'm going to get that bacteria in me, and I'm going to prove that I'm not going to get cholera because it's not just the bacteria, it's being dirty. So how can you best make sure that you get the cholera bacteria?
I don't know.
Well, find somebody who had cholera.
Oh, and just like hang out near them and like smooch them maybe, or...
Well, do you know, this might help. Do you know what cholera causes?
No.
How the disease manifests?
I'm sorry.
Massive diarrhea. That's the easiest way to explain it. Massive, watery diarrhea until you dehydrate to death. Except now we can fix it and save your life. But back then we couldn't.
That book would not have sounded as good if it was called Love in the Time of Pooping Yourself to Death. That would not be as good of a title.
Cholera is not a romantic disease, even though people like to make it one. No, you poop yourself to death.
Okay.
Which is very sad, but...
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so where are you going to get the cholera?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, so he wanted to make sure he did it right. He didn't just find somebody who had cholera. He found somebody who died of cholera. Uh-huh. Got a sample of their diarrhea.
Yeah.
Mixed himself up a drink.
No, don't wait. Max Joe.
And he drank it.
No.
If it makes you feel better,
nothing can make me feel better.
By the end of the disease,
I'm in hell.
By the end of the disease process, it actually has turned your stool into like what they describe as rice water.
Has it turned it into a mojito?
No,
has it turned it into cherry Kool-Aid? Because it's not.
water with flecks of intestine in it. You know, it's not really. It doesn't look like poop anymore.
Bad thoughts. So how could you? I can't. Why, Max Joe? Max Joseph, please come back to me, please.
Here's what's crazy.
What's crazy? Go on. I have some theories. Maybe drinking the poo-poo of a dead man. Perhaps, like my man Max Joe did. Perhaps drinking a dead man's poo-poo. That's not great. Go on. What did he do afterwards? Just ate a whole cheesecake. Just to get nuts. What could he do that's gonna crazier than drinking a dead man's poo-poo?
He didn't really get that sick.
Not as sick as I am right now. In one of the great ironies,
he got sick. He got diarrhea. He did become ill, but he got what that we later figured out was probably just a mild case of cholera. He probably didn't get a very high infectious dose.
Light cholera.
He got some light cholera. What he interpreted it as was, I didn't get sick. See, I got a little sick, but not that sick because I'm clean. Proven right.
I nailed it.
And he's remembered forever as a pioneer in the field of hygiene. He's on a stamp. And he drank cholera poop.
Congratulations.
And lived to tell about it. Why would you tell anybody about it?
I'd never tell anybody about it. This was discovered 2 years ago when his great-great-grandson broke the family's most dearly held secret.